Nissan has announced a few new members to the Micra lineup, including the new range-topping and sport grade, 2 new engines, and the option of the automatic XTronic CVT. Starting with the all-new 1.0-liter IGT100 engine, it replaces the outgoing 0.9-liter 90 picoseconds unit in the range, producing 97 horsepower and 118 pounds-ft of torque. This makes the new engine 10 picoseconds and 10 Nm more powerful than the old one, while Nissan also claims lower CO2 emissions and better fuel economy. As standard, the new Micra IGT100 will come with a 5-speed manual gearbox, but Nissan will also offer the automatic XTronic CVT as an exclusive option for this engine. As for the new Micra N Sport, Nissan says it's the sportiest member of the range yet, featuring a revised chassis and also debuting a completely new engine. Under the bonnet you'll find a turbocharged 1.0-liter DIG T3 cylinder unit with 115 horsepower and 132 pounds-ft of torque, linked to a performance-oriented 6-speed manual transmission. According to Nissan, the 1.0-liter DIG T is not a retuned, more powerful version of the IGT engine but a completely different unit that's been developed in conjunction with Daimler alongside the 1.3-liter Turbo 4 powertrains that recently debuted in the Carscoops. According to Nissan, the new 115 horsepower DIG T engine offers noticeably more acceleration when compared to the 97 horsepower IGT unit throughout the rev range. Peak torque is delivered from just 1,750 RPMs. The result is a 0 to 62 mph in 9.9 seconds for the Micra with the DIG T engine, a full second quicker than the version with the 97 horsepower unit. Sport models will also feature a lower by 10 mm ride height, along with revised suspension tuning and a quicker steering rack to make the Micra more agile and fun to drive. The exterior of the new Micra N Sport features gloss black touches on the side moldings and door mirror caps, a set of 17-inch alloy wheels, rear privacy glass and a new chrome-finished exhaust tip. Inside, you'll get Alcantara leather seats, keyless entry, black headliner, white air vents and more. Sales of the new Nissan Micra are expected to start in February, with the new N Sport going against models like the Ford Fiesta Street Line, VW Polo R Line, Ibiza FR Line and more.
Subaru was experiencing a major problem at its only factory in Japan. Production had been shut down since January 16 due to the recently discovered defect in the electric power steering unit. Until it was resolved, production ground to a halt for all of its models because they all use the same assembly line. A production stoppage on that scale is one of the worst things that could happen to any automaker, and for a smaller one like Subaru, it has potentially catastrophic financial consequences. Fortunately, the issue has been fixed. Subaru has just announced today that it has restarted production at its Yajima factory in Gunma Prefecture, Japan after a week-and-a-half-long stoppage. The automaker says that countermeasure parts for electric power steering units for Forester, Impreza, and Subaru XV models have now become available. All three of those vehicles are manufactured at Yajima. But the big question Subaru now needs to answer is how this production shutdown impacted finances. Bear in mind that Yajima accounts for nearly 60% of its entire global production. The only other Subaru factory in the world is located in Indiana, USA. Nomura Securities analyst Masataka Kunichimoto last week when the shutdown was announced said, "Based on the contribution margin per vehicle, we estimate that a complete shutdown of Japanese production lines for 1 week would dent operating profits by 13.5 billion yen. If those figures are correct, then Subaru may have potentially lost up to $183 million in operating profits during that time period." A separate Asian financial publication also estimated the shutdown didn't allow for the production of around 10,000 vehicles and even potential customer delivery delays. But Subaru had no choice but to stop production and find a fix as fast as possible. The power steering defect could cause the steering control unit light switch to turn on in the instrument panel, followed by a loss of power steering. With that no longer being an issue, it's time to examine and determine the financial fallout.
The new Nissan Leaf, featuring a 62 kWh battery, has approximately 40 km more range in the basic version than in premium trims due to the higher weight of the more luxurious models. Meanwhile, Nissan also updated their US strategy with regards to Rapidegate. Modesty pays, it appears, as the latest CRB report concludes that the basic version of the 2019 Nissan Leaf with a new larger battery is about 33 kg lighter than the higher trims, thus leading to a range of 585 km. While the Californian authority tests the range of electric cars using the Urban Dynamometer Driving Schedule (UDDS), the national EPA has not made its official ruling of the latest Leaf model yet, so the numbers are preliminary at this point. However, as a rule of thumb, you can expect the EPA range rating to be around 70% of that specified by the UDDS, so that would result in a range of about 410 km for the basic version of the Leaf, while the more equipped electric vehicles will go about 370 km. So much for the long-range models, but there is also the basic version using the standard 40 kWh battery. While Nissan does not offer liquid cooling for any power packs, the 40 kWh version was plagued by issues with thermal management when being fast-charged in quick succession last year. Nissan reacted by developing a software update to deal with the issue without having to add hardware reportedly. While the update is currently offered in Europe, Nissan will not approach Nissan Leaf drivers in the US, according to a report by Clean Fleet. Nissan Prairie man Jeff Wandel further clarified that there is no update available in the States because customers had complaintless or did not experience issues with rapid charging. It remains to be seen whether the software will have the desired effect, particularly for the long-range version of the Nissan Leaf electric car, as older versions already include the update. At the same time, Nissan has announced that their software update to deal with the Rapidegate charging issues, where HPCs showed significant drop in charging speeds after multiple uses, will not be rolled out in the USA. The reason for this is simply that US American customers apparently don't use the feature as much as Europeans. Nissan said, "The vast majority of our US customers don't use multiple fast charging procedures in any single day, so they are not affected by the charging safeguard feature on the new Leaf." Leaf customers who expect to consistently use fast charging procedures more than twice per day for extended distance driving, we would suggest they contact their local Nissan dealership for advice on how to get the best out of their Leaf under these exceptional driving scenarios, for US American long-distance EV drivers. The issue mainly has been found with multiple high-speed charging processes in the same day, which does not affect most drivers. However, the issue does not shine a positive light on EV charging as a matter of convenience. Newly produced versions of the vehicles will generally feature the software update, which helps regulate the cooling process in the battery during charging.
In less than a week, Subaru's assembly plants in Japan's Kamo Prefecture are back up and running. Subaru announced on Monday that it has restarted production at 2 of its Japanese plants, following a 12-day shutdown. The plants combined to produce the majority of Subaru's vehicles, including the Crosstrek, Forester and Impreza, some of which are imported to the US. The automaker was able to restart its plants after it developed a countermeasure for a power steering defect. Subaru announced last week that it had shut down 2 plants on January 16, after it discovered a problem that may cause vehicles to lose power steering. At the time, it expected to have the plants up and running by January 28, and it met that goal. However, it's still unclear what part caused the defect, and how the new part addresses that. Subaru buyers in the US shouldn't face any recalls. After the shutdown was announced, a spokesperson for Subaru in the US said that approximately 10,000 examples of the Crosstrek and Forester may be affected, but none of the affected units have even reached dealers yet. Thus, any necessary fix will be implemented before the vehicles are put on sale. Vehicles manufactured at Subaru's plant in Indiana are unaffected. In 2017, Subaru's plants were hit with a different kind of problem. Late that year, the automaker admitted to decades of flawed inspections. The inspections, which were for Japanese market vehicles, were done using employees who were not actually authorized to do the inspections. Some vehicles were recalled for subsequent inspections by authorized personnel.